welcome to the B Team Podcast. I am your host, Josh Safran, with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest,
Rob Nelson.
We're here every week to talk to you about all things Bentonville, bourbon, and business. The B Team Podcast. Be here.
So we did Old Crow.
Being a recluse for 2 months changed my life.
This is good. Probably get some LU from that. We'll do.
This is such a rare treat.
Oh, I appreciate. I would get my sleeping bag out and just stay here all night to do this.
I do that occasionally.
It's so good.
It's so bad. So that cat is one of the Ezra Brooks line. I have
Finance savvy. You got that's a workout.
So
there.
These are 12 years old, 90 proof.
Okay.
So this is a step up in proof. And this is the Philharmonic cat. I don't know if it can be seen or not.
Yeah, that's so cool.
We can take it out, show you. You can see all the dust that's still on these.
Remember, we went to Lux Row in Bardstown, and this is now from Lux Row.
So I don't know if it does it.
Oh my gosh.
But this is how they come from the distillery.
The old tax stamp on there.
Yeah. So that was torn. That's not good. But anyway, so there is a tax strip, and then there should be, maybe not on this one. Some of them have state tax stamps as well.
So now what's in the little pamphlet thing here?
So this pamphlet, and many of them came with their own pamphlets, and unfortunately, sometimes they also tore through the corks. But, well, maybe I can't get it off. Anyway, this is an invitation from Kentucky's finest distillery. And it's a invitation to join the Ezra Brooks Bottle Club. And you can fill out one of those things and send it in, and it'll send you a certificate.
You should send it back in.
And you would be on their mailing list and get to know everything that's coming up. So
this is drinkable?
Yeah, I have one open that we opened recently. There's just a couple others.
Isn't that a work of art?
That is amazing.
This is an antique phonograph that they did. They basically built or created. Watch the head is little.
Yeah. Be careful there.
But they basically did all sorts of.
I like that the stock market one that was in there.
Yes, the ticker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these weren't all handmade, were they? I mean, so
a
piece of art.
This was handmade. These here, the Old Crow chessmen, they actually had molds, and they were hand decorated. They basically put the porcelain in by hand. This one, there's a Facebook page if anybody wants to join. It's called Bourbon Decanters, Ounces to Ounces. And what it does is when we open up Bourbon Decanter, those of us that are part of it, we will weigh the bottle full and we'll weigh the bottle empty and tell whoever it is on it how many ounces we got out of it. Mm-hmm. And it's a way to know how full the bottles are. So here's a Man of War.
Isn't that cool?
That is amazing.
Here's the phonograph, and you saw the antique sticker?
Matt already had his eyes on it, yeah.
That may have my name.
Now, is Man of War considered the greatest racing horse in history, or is it Secretariat?
So that's the phone.
So this is that's the telephone? I'm sorry.
The fact that Matt's already on it.
So here is the antique stock ticker.
Oh my gosh.
That thing's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that is cool.
It's so cool.
So we're going to step up a little bit.
Amazing.
Ezra Brooks, you want to start on this side?
Yes.
So, and Ezra Brooks was
and this is a 12-year.
It's a 12-year, 90 proof.
Then we take that.
Wow.
This is
Here's the 12-year Ezra.
Yeah, so they were actual distillers. They still are on the shelf today. You can buy Ezra Brooks.
This is sleeper.
It is a sleeper.
Yeah,
I think personally, for me, this is one of my favorite day-to-day sippers. When I just want to sit down with something.
Ezra Brooks or a Dusty?
A Dusty Ezra Brooks.
But you can't go wrong with regular.
No, regular Ezra Brooks is
on
good.
The shelf today
it's
too.
Good compared to everything else out there. Yes. So
this is real, again, very meaty, a lot of depth on the.
There is a lot of depth, a lot of flavor.
Because remember, with the 90 proof, you're going to get more flavor profile because the alcohol is not stunning a lot of the flavor.
So what proof? This is 90?
This is 90 proof. Okay. And 12 years aged.
Really,
so you
get a lot of
sugar. Wood and And what notes?
This is right in my sweet spot.
That's why I said it's my daily drink.
Because I'm not a big high food guy.
I like 90 to 105.
I like 90 to 100 ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But okay, where's that bottle?
More age flavor.
Yeah. There we go.
So when you say daily drinker, for those at
I don't
home,
drink every day.
No. But for those at home that don't have like how many bottles of this to be a daily drinker? You'd have to drink it on a regular basis.
So I would open one of these a month, maybe.
Okay, but you probably have 20 of these floating around. Like
well, I only have one or two open at any one time.
No, but you're back stock.
I have probably 50 open bottles right now. Most of which I don't drink. Most of which are for friends when they come over, or
you're a friend.
Stuff that I don't prefer but are still good. But if I'm going to sit down at night and just want to relax, and
this one's sweet too on the nose.
It is. It's got some sweetness to it.
Is that stone fruit in there?
No, I'm getting a lot of roasted corn. It's really smoky.
I can see it. It is, but it's not smoky like a Scotch. It's not.
Oh no. It's smoky from the influence of that barrel character.
Roasted corn's a new one for you. Like you brought out something. That's a new
I don't think that's in a nosing kit. That
I have 50 more of those.
Let me shut this.
I haven't seen Russ this excited ever.
Well, you know what?
Russ is neat. You let us open the book to the past.
Be careful. It's a rabbit hole you go down.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much variety.
This one's really good. This one's really, really, really good.
I really like
his history, and this is what this is part of history that a lot of people don't. They see it, they walk by it, and then until you try it, you go, wow, what took me so long that we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
So let me give you ballparks of what this stuff does sell for on the secondary if somebody was to buy one. The Lionstones are generally $80 to $100.
So that's $200 for Matt, in case he wanted to buy that one.
In case.
No, he broke the cork. No, that's $300.
Yeah.
He made it unsellable.
Hi. Oh, I did. I'm trying to open it.
Man, it's like you took right there. You just
sorry, Steven.
That's right.
It's okay, little
off for their head.
We'll fix it.
This
we'll
one
make it better.
This one actually, I get a lot of tingling on my palate, on my tongue, which is that step up in proof, right? I really like the dryness. That's
the finish.
The finish is what I love. The finish is wonderful. You do get a real hug on this.
What about the coffee though? What about the candy?
There is
coffee?
Candy. There's candy. There's sweetness in here. There's so much sweetness in this. It is great. So, 80 to 100 there. Ezra Brooks has come down a lot from a year or two ago. They're probably 150 to 200. This is the most expensive. These used to be over 1,000. Today they're around 500 to 600.
Now, why the difference?
Rarity. Can't find them, and it has a lore to it. Many people think that is one of the top dusty whiskeys to collect, and some people try to collect the entire chest.
They want to call in for the mat.
So do you have a mat?
No, I do not. I've never had more than 12 at one time. So it's
so you try to just kind of
I drink them. I share them with friends. The first time I bought
I bet you could find one of these Old Crow chest piece mats somewhere online, right? I mean,
yes, you can. I'm sure, but they're still a couple $100. Right, for just
cool.
The mat. It is cool.
The problem, again, as Stephen will tell you, too, about shipping it then.
The mat will ship, but these are difficult to ship.
So what?
Because you don't want UPS to kick it to the door.
So do you have any, of the knights or the castles?
I do. I have some castles. I don't have any knights left, I don't think.
Or the bishop?
Originally, I do. I think I have a bishop. I have 4 left. I bought 12 originally out of this.
The queen would be.
I bought 12 out of this collection, and I shared some with
the queen's the killer.
Yeah, I've shared some with some friends, and so
you have a queen.
No, I'm going to get. He's got another. He's got a.
I think it is the
king
queen.
For me. King or queen?
King or queen? Yeah, I don't know.
Now the juice is the same in all of them.
It is just different decanter. Yeah. Same thing generally with all of these. Right?
Yeah,
the juice is roughly the same. So Lionstone has the biggest variety from decanter to decanter. because they were non-producer distillers.
Because they weren't a huge name.
They were,
so that was
they
the
were
way to
buying
get it out.
barrels and then blending whatever they had.
Just
Everybody else blends too.
like a wine negociant.
Yep.
This is exactly who these guys were doing with bourbon. This is like a wine negociant.
But the bourbon, like Ezra Brooks, and same thing, as long as you're buying stuff from a batch, right? So maybe over a 3-month, 6-month period, all those barrels that were created or blended, they're going to be roughly close. But over ages, they don't necessarily have to be the same, although companies like Ezra Brooks have standards that they try to meet so that everything tastes the same.
So, Stephen, let me ask you a question. So, for somebody that's new to the dusty thing,
right?
What would be a good first bottle for them to try and find on the secondary market? Like, what would be a good starter?
So I think Lionstone is a great value. Jim Beam has the biggest selection, and most of the Jim Beams are 100 proof or 100 month, 80 or 86 proof. I have one here. I just wanted to show. We're not going to drink this one, but
But remember, this would be good.
This is actually a 15-year. Remember I said they were distilled 180 months, and they were holding barrels longer than they wanted to. They wanted to sell 8 year.
So have you tried these?
Yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Oh my gosh!
So Jim Beam has a museum at the distillery with everything they ever produced.
Yeah, these are gorgeous.
It's very remarkable.
These are amazing. So they did a series. These are called the Executive Series, and they run from 145 months up to 200 month aged. And they're all in these gorgeous, highly decorated decanters. I would say the regular decanters is where somebody should start. They're really good bourbon. They generally are. I personally like the 86 better than the 80 proof. But they're very reasonable. They're usually 80 to $100, maybe 125. Huge variety because they were the largest manufacturer of decanters, and easy to find.
And then the Holy Grail, the Pappy 23 of this, Joe. Like if somebody could find something to
like what is your unicorn that you have or want in this?
So
if you'll tell us,
I'll tell you. I just acquired one. It's a Kentucky Tavern Captain's bottle. So if you think of an old captain's ship, bottles generally have wide bases, and then the decanter came up and it's got a narrow top with a stopper. My number one favorite dusty whiskey that I've ever had, and this was in a bottle, was a 1947 Kentucky Tavern bottled in bond, and absolutely blew me away.
So you found one of those recently?
I bought one off someone else probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's been empty for a long time.
Okay, so you finished
but I found the regular bottle I bought 5 or 6 years ago.
You bought it full.
The Captain's bottle was part of this collection, yes.
But you bought it full and drank it? Okay.
The regular bottle.
So when you had your friends over, they had to call you Captain?
No, they didn't have to call me.
Okay, they did.
I didn't make them call me anything in particular.
We haven't talked about food and whiskey, but this would be paired perfectly with a fatty ribeye.
Yes, I would agree.
So
do you have one? Is there one cooking out there?
I thought we were going to do it at your house.
I don't have a ribeye.
I'll pick one up and we're going there.
So I like this a lot. And then
this is incredible. We're walking up that lot of progression here. Mm-hmm. I mean, this just keeps getting better.
You are this is like your Holy Grail today. Like we get you.
I mean, my work is done here. I mean,
this could be grapes and grains, like the platinum level.
What, you don't think I've been thinking about that?
Oh, I know you have. Because who would not want? I mean, it's like we're in a museum drinking a whiskey.
Right. That's a perfect analogy.
We are.
And it's a perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so
you're going to decant one for us?
I'm going to decant one for you. Yeah. So this is from Jim Beam, and they had a series called Bonded Beams. Bonded Beams were all 100 proof out of a bonded warehouse, and various ages. The lowest age was 6 years. The highest I've ever seen is 13 or 14 years. This is an 8, I believe, and I'm going to decant it right into here, just in case.
He's got a lot of these bottle and bonds at the house. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So why are you why are you having two in here?
The funnel is to get it in the bottle.
Okay.
And this is a filter for really small pieces of pork that may have come out.
All right.
So we're not drinking.
Just for the viewers.
Thank you for asking.
Just extra protection. All of us have to do that every now and then.
This could probably break. Many of them do, but we'll see.
I'm just waiting for Russ to knock the TV off the wall.
Wow, it doesn't even have a cork. Look at that. This one doesn't even have a cork. Ooh, I don't know if I can do this.
So you're discovering new things as you go here.
Look at that.
I mean, Matthew's pretty strong.
Okay, Matthew, here you go.
Now you're under a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure here.
If you break it, it's okay. I can always cut it off. I brought a blade with me.
Oh, look at him have mini.
Get a vice grip.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't bring a vice grip either. We might not be drinking.
Get a little hot water or something on it.
Use your teeth.
The sugar's in it.
It is, probably.
That's what it is.
Well, the wood sealed it.
That's a good thing, though.
This thing will be legit. I have a pair of vice grips out in my truck. Oh,
There you go.
I got it. Good.
I told you, Matthew.
Ooh, you could hear it like a when I opened it up.
So we don't need this then.
Ooh, it's
By the way, a trick, okay, or just for people that are watching. So these are available. I'm not pushing Amazon, but these are actually hospital issued or available in case you have kidney
stone.
Yes. Okay. But the mesh is really fine.
More whiskey and drink.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
I mean,
kidney stone.
Well, we may not even need this. Didn't have. We can just pour this right out of here. I don't need to do that. I'll close it
Thank
back.
you for adding value, Matthew.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it.
Ooh. All I ask is that, we get a little nipper of that. Rob missed out on the best podcast we've had today.
He's busy today.
Now this one.
No, he's going to say we did this today because he's not here.
Oh, he
Yes,
will. 100%.
This one does not have as distinctive a nose as what I'm used to.
And what was this proof point?
100 proof. It's a bonded.
This is a bonded.
Bonded Jim Beam.
So now this is our first Jim Beam.
Yes.
The others were all Ezra, right?
Yeah, very red mahogany.
Yes.
Which is a color you like to see in bourbon.
So it says it's an 8-year,
Yeah.
You're not going to get this at a today 8-year.
No, not at all.
and it's 100 proof.
It's 100 proof.
I get it.
So what year would you say this was from, ballpark?
Most of these have the year printed on this tack strip, but this seems to have got. Oh, it's still there. Okay, this was distilled in 1968 and bottled in 1979.
So Russ, what do you get from just?
This one's got a lot of
I know
spice.
you're already drinking it, but what do you get from smelling it?
Please don't say roasted corn.
No, I'm not getting roasted corn. You may.
He's going to say tomato paste.
It's got
This is more caramelly,
sweet and caramely.
It's
smell
got more
to it.
caramel to me than vanilla, but
It's
what are we
really,
getting?
it's really candy.
Yep.
It's almost okay. It's almost taking.
This is my favorite.
I
one we
get
have.
I get a
pretty
lot
good.
of roasted. I get a lot of roasted nuts on the nose.
Okay.
I get a lot of dried fruit on the nose.
He likes it the way it is.
I liked it how it was. Now you just messed it up.
We're making it better for you.
It says so much sweetness on the palate.
It's a lot of
It's a lot of caramel. Yep.
Forcing you'd have to.
It's
A lot of spice though. But
Yes, it
remember,
does have
50 to 70% of what we're drinking today depends on where it's aged and housed.
Yeah.
And all the variables. 50 to 70% of the flavor comes from the oak.
so
So oak makes the whiskey.
yeah. So as I said before, the Ezra Brooks is my daily drinker. This is my when I want something special drinker.
So
I have a number of these that are 12 and 13 year aged. This youngest I ever buy are the 8 years, and
Is that the black label?
no, that's I don't have more than one of those.
Okay.
So what's funny is like this. None of this bourbon is like anything that you have today,
No.
and
it's not.
you said it. Like
No, it's
you,
not.
once you have this, it's
It's like why buy something at the liquor store?
I can see
Listen,
that.
you're going to have to spend for a decent bottle of liquor store. You spend $100, $200 today, right? For most. I mean, there's a few others. Most of this stuff that I brought, other than the Chessman, is same range, if not,
yeah.
Now I have something special for you to taste. I'm not going to tell you what it was until you tell me what you think. But there are some Dusties that get really expensive.
But the last question before you do that.
Yeah.
Again, for the novice,
Yes.
knockoffs. Like if you were to buy a bottle, you want to make sure that it's fully sealed, the stamp is
Okay.
on it, right?
Good.
Like how
Yeah,
do you
good
ensure
question.
that somebody doesn't get screwed over?
Like how did you know?
So You can't be 100% sure, but there are things you can do to protect yourself. First, up until the early 1980s, every bottle had a tax stamp. Okay, for 100 proof, there are always these green tax stamps. Yeah, and
this one's red.
That would be not. That's not That's not bottled and bond. That's not 100 proof.
Okay.
That's going to be 101 and up or 99 and down.
I can't believe you got the hell out.
And then again, some of the states, like, we saw the Arkansas tax stamp yesterday.
Yeah,
86 must have been a popular brief.
It was. 80 is the lowest. 86 was next. Then there's 90 or 92 and a lot of hundreds. There aren't a lot of high proofs back then.
Because of the tax.
Yes.
But are the high proofs they're the unicorn amazing whiskeys or no?
Today they
sometimes.
are. Sometimes, not necessarily.
Okay. Like what was the 47 that was your favorite?
Well, back then there weren't. Today we see a lot of distilleries putting out single barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no such thing as a single barrel back then.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of cornbread right out of the oven on that.
Cornbread.
Cornbread. I mean, it's prevalent on my palate.
There's been a Wonder Bread on this.
Right.
Just the crust, though.
Just the crust. A little PB&J.
This almost has a lot of biscuit influence.
No, it does.
Hold on.
It's soup.
I'm getting more.
It's like dessert.
It is a dessert.
It's not like
I think it's a dessert bourbon too.
These are
this is a drink that you would go have after you had a meal and you sit in there and
you could sip it in a cognac glass, right? Beside the fire.
It's not like what bourbon is today.
No, it's
at
not
all.
So, Stephen, I want to come back to this for a second before Matthew interrupts.
Yeah.
Oh,
so anyway,
explain to me how
tax
you don't
strips?
get swindled.
So first thing is tax strips.
Yes.
If the tax strip is torn, you need to ask why. Like for example, that one
This is the
come off.
sticker. I think the sticker just went.
The glue went. Yeah. Now, out of this collection, I do have some where the tax strips are torn that I did buy. Normally, I would choose not to, but because they were all together in one collection, and I knew how long they'd been on the shelf, and honestly, when I pick a bottle up, there were probably 5 or 6 that I broke the tax strip just by getting in this.
Yeah.
So because it was part of a collection, you felt good about it.
I felt good that was all original and legit. The other thing is, some of them, there's a period of time where you have a state tax stamp on top of the tax strip. These tax strips are for internal revenue, and then the state tax stamps, which are much smaller, and unfortunately none of these have that. Each state had their own. And that was so the state could confirm that their taxes were paid. Okay? So you want to look for those two things. And then in decanters, it's hard to know how full they are. So I do the typical slosh test, right? Turn them over and I make sure it doesn't leak. I had some in this collection. I told them I would take all the full ones, but leakers I'm leaving behind. And there were several on the shelf that even though the cork was still in it, it was loose, and when I turn it over, it would leak. Now, when it leaks, oxygen gets into the decanter, and oxygen degrades bourbon over time, right?
Because that's micro-oxidation.
Yes.
We know about macro-oxidation for wine.
Correct.
So it's over time that it's going to affect the spirit.
That is
micro over time. Wine is instant.
Right, and given that these decanters have been sitting there from the 1960s and 70s, that's enough time to make it really mellow and change the depth and complexity.
Which can be good or bad.
It's still going to be drinkable.
It's still going to be drinkable.
Yeah.
Now, there are, as in every collectible industry, there are people that are not so straightforward and honest. So other things I look for when I'm buying a bottle, for example, as opposed to a decanter, I want to look to see if the capsule, that's the cover over the cork, matches all the pictures I see elsewhere, right? So it's very easy to replace a capsule.
Just try doing your due diligence because, again, you know the fraudsters are out there.
There are, and I want to make sure it's right. Yep, and look for things that are, tax stamps. So one of the interesting things about tax strips, there are I have any others here. So on these, there's 4 different sayings. One is Internal Revenue Service. One is distilled spirits. So there's on each side of the tax strip, up and down, there are different words. You can look up, you can Google how to date old whiskey. And if you're seeing a bottle that has a date on the bottom of the decanter that doesn't match the date range of that tax strip, you should walk away. Right?
So do your research.
Do your research.
Pay
always.
attention.
Yep.
If it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true.
Absolutely. And also, some whiskey does not age as well as others. For example, there are some, even that come out that are a little hazy. I tend to stay away from those.
So you've opened something before tasting and go, oh my God, this is horrible. Like
I've actually had 1 or 2 that I've actually poured down the sink.
Yeah.
Right? That were just not right. But if you do a little due diligence, you talk to people, that have knowledge, they're welcome to email me or whatever at dustywhiskeyhunter.com. Be happy to provide some advice and, do what we can to make sure they're looking at good stuff.
perfect.
So what is the one that the mystery guest this afternoon?
Yeah.
The mystery guest. So, what am I doing?
Matt already took it. It's in his car.
Yeah, I already took it out of the car.
Bring it back. There's only such a bottle with it.
You see another one of these bottles out there? No. Be great. If,
Here we go.
Be great if you just pull it out from between your legs.
So, this is a very old Fitzgerald. It is distilled by Stitzel-Weller, which is known as one of the top distilleries of all times. It's bottled and bond 8-year from 1950, distilled in 1956.
Oh boy.
And bottled in 1964.
Right.
I just bought this 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and that's all that's left. So
So what was it in a decanter or a bottle?
this was in a bottle. This was in a, they didn't have
So old
decanters.
Fitz didn't do decanter.
So this is not just old Fitz; it's they're very old Fitz, which
Okay.
is a higher quality that they put out. I can probably bring up a picture.
This is weeded bourbon.
This is weeded. Yes.
Press have your dump bucket, please.
Yes. So
So this is the first weeded bourbon that we've had.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And this, they typically
Look at that. Look at the color.
they
on that
typically sell on the secondary market for around 3,000.
3,000?
Yeah, I did not pay that much, but I paid a lot.
Wow, what a treat.
Yeah. So you're all welcome. Yeah, you might think this is a better value, right?
thing. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have a picture of it if you want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I want to see what the bottle looked like.
I'm going to have to pour for Matt because if he sees a $3,000 bottle, it'll go about 3/4 of the way up.
I would be like, okay, you guys ready? I'll just do it.
Well, I get a lot of
Light
dark
pours.
fruit. A lot of dark fruit on the nose.
What is dark fruit? What does that mean?
Like dark cherries or
cherries and
blackberries,
blackberries.
yeah.
Just checking.
Oh, it's super fruity on the nose. Josh would really
I mean,
like
what were you doing in 1956?
I was 4.
that. My parents were barely alive.
Now, Russ, have you ever tried anything like this?
I've had an old Fitz that was distilled in 1958. We compared it against a new old Fitz 11-year-old. That's the old package.
That is a very old package, yes.
You know, it's almost more enjoyable to see Russ looking at this stuff. Look at that.
So that's the bottle it was
That
in?
was the bottle it was in.
And you found this just
No, it was a friend of mine in the industry that also collects old Dusties. We were just chatting online. He said, "Hey, I bought like 10 bottles. Anything you
you're
like?" I said, "Yeah, I like that."
old in 56.
And he said, I said, "I'd love that." He said, "Well, what would be a good price for you?" And I told him, he said, "That's less than I paid." I said, "Okay, well, that would be
asked you.
right. Yeah, that would be a good price."
You got that old Fitz in
me
your
hear that,
house. If you tried this against the other old Fitz that you have up on the bar with all those whiskeys from that old collection,
No, I haven't tried it against. I haven't done it side by side.
Comparison, side by
No,
side.
side by side. I have not. But
I get a lot of cinnamon And again, like a fresh cracked cinnamon stick that you just crack.
I agree.
I get it right here.
Do you not smell cinnamon in that? No,
I do.
You do.
I laugh at Russ because
Well, you know what? He's got the nose that knows up front.
Yeah.
No.
Some of us just say, I don't know what that is.
right?
Right?
And that's how I'm like.
It takes years to get to the level the Russ is
he's
at,
amazing.
right? And I think I've talked to some people that have bought nosing kits that help them to discern over time, where they have different spices and whatever, and you can smell the spice, smell the bourbon, and see if you got something similar. I don't know if you.
I don't really do that, but what I'm working on is a deconstruction seminar. Deconstruct barrels. So do sherry, try some sherry, and then right next to that, we're going to do a bourbon that's been finished in sherry, or bourbon that's been finished in.
Interesting.
We'll do the port up front and do that deconstruction, because you see, this could be one of the top 5 whiskeys I have ever tried in my life.
It's so good.
So this is bottled by this is 100 proof. So this is a little strong for you, right? But
I can't believe you're sharing this with
Why?
us. Right. It's
bourbon is for sharing, right? The whole bourbon community, in my view,
best I've ever had.
Well, good, because it's one of my top two. It's one of my top
a lot for
two.
you because
It's good.
This is remarkable.
It is remarkable. So
Because again,
it's really complex.
and this is a wheated bourbon, right? It uses wheat as the secondary grain, so you get a totally different flavor than you do from. It is softer.
But remember, this is the old wood influence.
Absolutely. And it was distilled at one of the preeminent distilleries in the country at the time. This is where Pappy Van Winkle had set up his business.
The Weller was.
Yeah. So great whiskey.
thank you for sharing. That's
My pleasure.
By there in September
No.
because it was raining.
Stitzel-Weller.
It's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
But it's got the lore and it's got the history.
It's a museum.
It is a museum. It is.
I have one that was bottled in 2002, so it still sits Weller's.
That's great.
A Pappy
that's great.
20.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
But
that was done before Buffalo Trace was going.
yeah.
The difference is Matt would never bring it in and share with us like you do.
No, I would with
Steven.
You know what? You give and you get,
I
right?
love that.
So,
I love that.
but I believe this whole business bourbon community is all about sharing and making friends. And you know, if I have something unique, I don't hide it.
Is this
we put
not
it
an
away.
experience that most people like? This is an auction item at your deal. If he would be willing to do it.
Well, I don't have an auction item with this.
But I mean, like,
some of these things.
Just the history of all this.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, a couple years ago,
we did a couple years.
Rock Hill Farms, the old one.
You can't buy this usually. So, like, no matter what money you have, a lot of times you can't buy being able to do what we're doing.
Correct.
Right now.
We cannot replicate this history.
No.
Not at all.
You can't, from any standpoint.
No matter what money you
blend
have.
anything to create anything that we've had this afternoon.
Yeah, all unique.
It's all unique, and they're all one-offs, and they're not cookie cutters.
Yeah.
They all have their own depth of flavor and character.
But what's interesting to me is everything we've tasted, everybody liked, right?
Yeah.
Better than what's out on the shelves today.
Yes.
And that's why, for me, I drink dusty whiskey. Okay. I believe on an everyday basis, if I'm going to drink at home, this is what I share with my friends, and this is what I drink myself. I still buy stuff off the shelf, but generally it's got to be, you know, one of the top things that are coming out or whatever. I don't buy everyday bourbon general releases. I'll buy unique stuff that is different or has a good reputation and has been reviewed by other people as being really good. But I have more than enough bottles to drink for the rest of my life at this point. Right?
So Steven,
I haven't tried this with water yet.
so as we're wrapping up, because we could probably go for 5 hours with you.
Yeah, you got more than enough product, I guess.
If folks wanted to reach out, they wanted information, they had questions, give the email address and the Instagram one more time.
Sure. So on Instagram, it's Dusty Whiskey Hunter, and the email is dustywhiskeyhunter@gmail.com.
And I've gotten to know you over the last few years.
Yes.
And Matt, we and I were joking, but in all seriousness, the generosity, the way that you share stuff. I don't know too many people in this community, Northwest Arkansas, that are more giving and sharing and teaching with stuff than you. And so it's great to have you in.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in and sharing today. I think the Dusty conversation is
This is my favorite podcast we've done.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And Bobby,
thank you. Thank you.
Even though I'm here, still your
No, well, you're 110%
I think
what
it's
you've
110%.
been.
So guess what I'm getting on?
So I put 2 drops.
a little more.
So I want to hear what you get.
baking and
I'm
clove.
getting dark baking spices, but I'm also getting vanilla pudding.
It does have a vanilla smell.
Yes, it doesn't.
But I get the clove, the cinnamon, the star anise. Also some dried fruit that you normally don't pick up a lot. But again, that's that.
Put it
So,
put it
all right, so I have a question for you.
Difference?
Yeah.
What is your favorite
Try mine.
note that is rarely found
You're offering a share?
In a bourbon.
in a bourbon?
Clove.
Okay, cool. Mine is marzipan.
Marzipan.
Yeah.
Marzipan, yes, but
I've never heard
I
that
get
before.
more of a just that clove.
Clove
You know,
thing?
you get clove more in European oak.
Yes, yes.
Big time is prevalent, but marzipan is that's one
pretty
of those
rare.
50 that I'm saving for another day, but it's there. but I'm really getting those.
But I don't get it
baking
very
spices,
often.
and
I don't get marzipan very
but
often.
I do get the vanilla pudding here.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you
This
for
was
inviting me.
wonderful.
It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the
And
generosity.
we